It is the beginning of November, which is late autumn. The days are getting colder, honestly speaking, and right now I feel cold. But an hour ago that was okay because the sun was shining and it was this golden period of time. For now, the trees are bare. Almost all of them are completely bare, and I think that I missed this golden period when everything around is yellow and nice. Unfortunately, we're moving towards winter, and yesterday we had the first snow, though it didn't stay for long. I'm gradually preparing the garden for winter, and I haven't done a lot as for now. I'm usually at the very beginning of autumn, I prepare the list of things that I have to do during this period of time in order to not to forget just about anything. And I have just started clearing the front yard, and the main part of the garden is still not finished, but I have already prepared some things. The first thing is that I managed to find the manure. So me and my mom, we were going to the fields and we were collecting manure, and we filled almost all of the beds with it. That is one of the best ingredients, and that is one of the reasons why we get such incredible results. But of course, it just happens like at times we do not have the possibility to gather manure, so we use mulching instead of this. And I think the blueberry patch is the most beautiful right now because here we still have the leaves remaining. Yeah, and I think that this apple tree is the only one having leaves right now. There are still some things that we managed to do. So the first thing, we completely changed the outline of this part of our main garden. Here we divided this big plot of land into sections, and this time we aimed at creating narrow beds. It's a lot easier to look after them. I mean, like even here, I'm standing and it's easier for me to do something with the vegetables that are going to grow here. And we are going to plant something here in one row or maybe in 2 rows, but following some sort of patterns. And we created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 identical beds of the same width and of the same length. They're packed with a lot of nice things, and they're packed with manure, which is going to provide incredible results. And the end of our plot is going to be dedicated to the beds with raspberry. I'm getting more and more interested in different varieties of raspberries, of early crop, of late crop. Here we're going to have raspberries of late crop. That's why we cut them like this, because they're going to provide their harvest closer to autumn on the stems of the first year. That is of early crop. That's why we do not cut them to the ground. We just leave them be like this, and they're going to usually they provide their harvest on the stems of the second year. And we have completely changed, we decided to grow raspberries in one row. Before that we were growing in 2 rows. It was incredibly hard to look after it. And here there is another patch, another bed with raspberries of late crop. They are so far my favorite because closer to autumn you do not manage to enjoy a lot of berries in comparison with summer, and it's just something that I loved. I love this idea. And here we're going to have potentially another patch of land dedicated to raspberries. We're going to plant them here. I still don't know which varieties I like to choose, though I have something on my mind. And another trick that I love doing is whenever I choose a plot of land which wasn't cultivated before and I want to grow something in here, I always create the compost pile for the season. After the season finishes, I take everything, and as you see, almost everything got rotten. Of course, not the top part, but the bottom of the compost pile. And voila, nothing else that we have done specifically here. Just kind of like removed the top of the compost pile and left the bottom. No grass, no weeds, just ready to be planted. And that is the orchard getting ready for winter. Honestly speaking, I haven't seen the hair coming for the most problem that we're going to have, usually we have with the young trees, is that the hair can damage the bark because it's juicy and young and fresh. But we haven't seen hair for the last couple of years. In any case, I still protect the trees, and I'm going to do that afterwards. But for now, I have some other trees that I have planted, I have added to the orchard. Here we are going to grow 2 cherry plums, and I decided to plant another one, though I wasn't planning to do this, is because almost every tree needs some sort of cross-pollination with other varieties. So I decided to choose it as a nice idea to plant 2 cherry trees of different varieties close to each other. Here we planted a plum that is one of the most popular varieties or hybrid plums in Belarus and Russia. I'm going to include the name of it. And just because of its popularity and because it's just so kind of like there are a lot of nice reviews, I decided to plant it to check it out. These are, that is the pear, and it has grown a bunch. And I think that it likes the sport, and I'm really happy for this, because there is always some problem with young trees, is that when you plant them, they might not like the place, and you have to choose the right place until they start growing. I'm happy that they're happy with the place that I've chosen for them for the first time. And that is another plum, and I think that is going to bloom, because these are going to be the buds. And I'm really excited about this. I planted it last year, and it started growing like crazy. I had to cut the top part of it in order to form this kind of like beautiful to sculpture the tree in a way. And here we still have kind of like other trees growing, but this part somehow is more problematic than that one. So here we have the nectarine. I think that is, out of all of them, the only one having the leaves, apart from that apple tree. And honestly speaking, I'm surprised, because the nectarine is a very exotic fruit for our region. And here we planted another nice tree. Honestly speaking, I don't know how to call it in English. I'm going to, of course, find the name and include it. I'm really excited about this, because I have so many plans for this tree. I don't know whether he's going to like this place or not. Before that, we had peach grown here. It was very small. It didn't even open the buds after we planted it. It was this or last spring, or still this spring, because that is the year of 2024. And we decided to choose another tree to plant here. But the reason why this kind of like part is problematic is because of the apple tree that gives the shade. But these seedlings, they definitely need the sun and the warmth. I'm still planning on including some more trees, because when we had a big orchard here, when my grandma was alive, there were a lot of trees planted close to each other, and they didn't bother each other in a way. So I still feel like there are some spots that I would like to include into my plans, but I feel like I'm not going to buy any seedlings. I'm going to graft trees, and I'm going to plant them into the spots that I see fit for them. That's how the pollution looks like. Actually, there is a lot of work to do, something that I'm going to do right now. But just for you to see that we have a bit of tomatoes left. Of course, they're not growing because the nights are pretty cold. But just have a look. And we have a bit of aubergines, like small ones. They're not growing too, though the leaves, they're still green and nice. But I'm going to remove them otherwise. And a lot of tomatoes over there. Well, the nights are going to get colder. I think that in November we can expect the first snow. so there is no way to kind of like keep everything in here. Moreover, I need to prepare the polytunnel for the springtime. Wish me luck. Here there is a lot of work that should be done. So I have finished clearing everything up, and here we've got this amount of tomatoes that we gathered from like while clearing everything up. And actually it feels so unusual right now, because during summer you get accustomed to this lush greenery, Thai tomatoes, and at the moment it's just completely empty, and it's going to remain so for the next months until we start preparing for spring, which is not going to be soon because winter is pretty long here, and it's going to be like this. Of course, I'm going to also wash polytunnel from the inside, and but it's going to be just a bit later because it took a big amount of time to actually sort everything out here. Doing the wedding in November is a rather fun activity, to be honest, but actually it's pretty easy to do the wedding since the roots of most of the weeds are pretty weak during this cold period of time. But I have to prepare this bed for spring. Here we have a row of strawberries that produce a lot of harvest too, because the space is pretty nice. It's under constant sun, so it faces the south there. And I'm going to do the wedding right now.
The months of autumn are pretty special for agricultural regions of Belarus like Gomel, where I live. Not only it is the period of harvesting and getting ready for spring, but it's the period of results and toil, which should be celebrated. For this purpose, in 1996, Belarus started celebrating the so-called Dazhynki. That is the moment in autumn when everything is harvested and you can show it on one of the biggest fairs in Belarus, the festival of Dazhinki. But the point is that this celebration or festival doesn't have one single venue. Every year, the festival and the fair of Dazhinki chooses one town of every region where people can gather and celebrate. This year, in Gomel region, it was my town, the town of Karma. My mom visited the festival to show you what it looks like. Unfortunately, I wasn't with her at that moment to witness this. The festival was held in the middle of October, and all of the people there were welcomed by the president of Belarus, who paid a visit to our small town of Karma. The preparation for the fest starts several months before the day. People are preparing for the fair to demonstrate the wealth of agriculture, to cherish their results and work. Everyone in the region is famous for something, and they put their handiwork on display. You may see houses made of loaves of bread, something my mum was really amazed with, a horse made of potatoes, traditional Slavic costumes. There are a lot of crafty people in rural areas of Belarus. Such fests give them the chance to show their talent. My godmother works in the cultural center of Korma, so she has also presented the biggest installation there. Sometimes I think that she enjoys the spotlight. The festival has the folk music program, and you can enjoy the sounds of our traditional folk music. Belarusian cuisine is another aspect of the fest. You can try out different things as well as buy some Belarusian products there. There are also games to play. And the most breathtaking part of the festival is the demonstration of agricultural machinery that Belarus is so famous for across the globe. I was genuinely happy for my town to be part of such an event. It is a must for everyone who wants to experience Belarusian folklore, talents, and agricultural wealth to visit this festival.